Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Koski, and we have another action-packed show on the Dr. Subconscious Blog TV live show. What are we talking about tonight? We're talking about sleep paralysis and waking nightmares. Just about everybody has experienced some kind of sleep paralysis at some point, and it comes from, generally, the way I've experienced it, it comes from being overly exhausted. And scientifically explained, it's within the brain stem when you are waking and falling asleep both at the same time. So another way you might want to look at it is the body goes into REM sleep, but the brain is still awake. Okay? And of course, REM means rapid eye movement. So think of yourself in the deep, deep form of sleep, and you're going down so fast, so hard, and you jerk. Okay, so that would be like a sleep jerk. So what's interesting about this is so many people have associated with when they go into sleep paralysis, they're visited by demonic entities, and certainly that can happen, but it is so extremely rare. It's almost not even worth talking about. But nonetheless, sleep paralysis happens in a lot of cultures, and it happens to a lot of people, and they become very, very frightened. Okay, so we're going to address that, because when you do what I do, when you're dealing with the subconscious mind, there's going to be moments in your history and in your experience where it becomes very unsettling. And in your own mind, you have to get to that point where you got to reason this thing out. And it can cause psychological problems if you just let it linger. But we came from the Exorcist movie era in high school. That came out in junior high, or 10th grade. And that was a really, really big effect, because for the first time we witnessed somebody having a demonic entity enter into their body. Now, certainly that can happen when a person is in sleep paralysis and they start walking around. They can have negative entities enter into their body, but again, and I'm going to put up a link here that will show you an example of that, how scary it is. But it is so rare. And, get professional help if this is happening to you. There's no reason. I have seen some very interesting stuff in the training of my own mind, and try to seek out and figure out what an aura is, and or an oracle. And I've seen some stuff that was unsettling, but again, you have to mess with this stuff long enough and strong enough. Just about everybody I know throughout the history of the world has gone through the same thing, where it's scared them enough to either quit or scared them enough to figure it out. And Dr. Un, he had it right, in my opinion. He says that most of the stuff that we experience in demonic entities, even with Ouija boards and automatic writing, come from within. They are not exterior. And just about every psychiatrist and psychologist in America today will tell you that 99% of our problems are internal. Okay? That doesn't mean that there isn't a Satan out there, and that you should respect his and he is a negative entity. You shouldn't respect his detriment to society. His plan is taking over the world, and he's serious, and he has plenty of help doing that. But those people aren't, that entity, they're not interested in somebody like you. And if you're having sleep paralysis and, trying to get overly exhausted, realize that Jesus Christ gave us the power over any demonic presence simply by saying, in the name of Jesus Christ, leave now. And he gave it to the apostles. So, whenever you're meditating, always take precaution. Surround yourself with white light. Like I said, I have given thousands of these things, been involved in thousands of hypnotic sessions, and never once had an issue. Now, I have experienced stuff with the sleep jerk, you know, and I've seen, you know, things when I was fully awake in a room, you know, when you mess with the oracles and stuff, and I have experienced stuff with negative stuff with Ouija boards. Certainly, it was scary, and it can cause psychological problems. But Dr. Un, he knew that even though there's a negative entity out there and it can do serious damage, 99% of everything we do comes from within our own head. So don't let all this other stuff be limiting in your exploration of awareness, enlightenment. Okay? That's what we're all after. We're all after, what is the meaning of life? What am I doing here? What's my purpose? And sometimes you're going to get to a crossroad, and it's going to be very scary. It's not going to be, you know, what you expected. But just stay on the right side of Jesus Christ, and, you know, don't do any hallucinogenics when you're doing this stuff, because it can add to the problem. And if you do believe or know somebody that is in sleep paralysis and sleepwalking, you know, don't wake them up, you know. Just gently guide them back to bed and whisper in their mind that, hey, your eyes are getting heavier and heavier. It's time for you to return back to sleep. You'll awaken tomorrow fresh and totally revived. Sleep labs are by far the best way to measure this stuff, because and some pretty severe counseling too, to let people know that, you know, whatever your issue is, why these things are coming to the surface, they're coming to the surface for a message, for a purpose, and you need to deal with that. Now, that being said, that 1% that does come to the surface, do you know the difference? I don't think you will. I think you will. I think you will. Because both are easy to deal with. But, I mean, you know, out of all the Satan worshippers and devil worshippers that are out there, have they ever conjured up Lucifer? No. Never. Never happened. Not in a million years. So, you know, I don't know why that's not possible, or why they just stay out of our own mess, but hey, it's not for me to think about. And you shouldn't either. Just stay focused on the message, the positive message. And what I like to think about the most is, if I'm going to have an issue, I create it in my own thoughts first. Alright? And if I maintain a positive attitude, a positive mind of exploration for my enlightenment, for the attainment of awareness that I'm looking for, that stuff, it's not a problem. And we get a lot of it here in the Western culture in America. The East, they laugh. They laugh at the stumbling blocks we create for ourselves. So this is probably one of the most important things that you can do for yourself, is to, you know, take this and digest this and realize sleep paralysis, yes, it happens. Yes, there are negative entities that appear. 99% of them are in here, not out there. And that's the real concern that people have. And if they are out there, they can be dealt with. And you can move through this and live a long, happy, enlightened, spiritual life. My name is John Koski. This has been the Dr. Subconscious Show. I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Make sure you leave a comment if you can. Click on this video, get our numbers up. Helps everybody out. Peace.